It's loud in my ears, Lyndon.
You have to restart.
I can see. I didn't even hear that. You got to say that again. Hold on. Are we? What's going on here?
Check 1, 2.
Checking it. All right.
Mic check.
We're good. We're alive and well here at the Mission Stories studio
headquarters,
HQ.
Boss said, "Hey guys, you need to work from home," and we said, "Forget it."
Forget it. We're driving in. We're going through traffic. We're gonna kiss the mouths of everyone we see, then touch our faces.
Oh,
dude, I've never wanted to itch my face more than the last 2 or 3
Here's
days.
the thing. I don't know. Obviously, we're right into it. If you haven't heard,
this is Mission Stories, by the way, and it's Coronavirus Edition, Special Edition.
Corona Stories.
Yeah. I do have a bit of a sniffle, but I think it's mostly
it's
just...
It's true. Troy had a sniffle, and I said, "Have you been tested?" He said, no. How does that even happen? And I was like,
what do you mean? They can test for that?
There's tests?
What? So I think it's not... I'll say this, though. I was sick earlier this month, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I had
a little cold.
A cold. I had a fever. I had the whole thing. If I had that...
You had a fever?
Yeah.
You probably should have got tested.
Do I have it? I said it lasted days, though. It lasted a day. It lasted 48 hours max.
This is why we got to go pick up thermometers.
Yeah.
You got to measure that. That's right. There was that day, and you were like, "I'm too sick," and we couldn't go do the thing.
That's right. Yeah. So, I was sick that day. If I was that now, oh my gosh,
we'd all be freaking out.
I would definitely be freaking out. Are you freaking out?
I don't know what we call it. Gentle hysteria.
Yeah.
Oh, that's set in.
Yeah.
I have a gentle hysteria.
On the surface, I look calm and ready, but underneath,
but deep down, it's mom spaghetti.
It's mom spaghetti. It's all over my sweater. And I'm ready.
Knees weak, arms spaghetti.
My arms are wetty, and spaghetti is what's for dinner. Literally for the next 6 weeks, because that's all I bought in the store is spaghetti and meat sauce. That's how
you're going to survive.
And I got 16 months of that ready to go, so I hope I don't get tired of that.
Yeah, I'm just driving here. I'm like, gas? They're pretty much giving gas away for free.
Yeah, they are.
NBA's canceled. NHL's canceled. General conference is semi-canceled. Church is canceled.
Church is canceled. Talk about cancel culture, am I right? Hey, we got to laugh.
That's a laugh. That's one laugh. Yeah, that's what... I know.
Man,
it's like, nuts. Is that an overreaction? Here's the thing that's wild.
Yes.
Is my favorite little meme that popped up was President Nelson when he's like, "Hey, everyone, get ready for conference. Take your vitamins." And everyone's like, "Ha, ha, ha, ha." Then he's like, "No, take your vitamins." And I'm like, he knew all along.
Yo, what if he did?
He knew, and he didn't say a thing.
Yeah.
All he said was, "Take your vitamins."
Take your vitamins.
He's like, "It's going to be a wild one."
We will never forget this. He was so right.
He's like,
and,
"You'll never forget it."
Yeah.
Take your vitamins.
You're never going to forget what happens. And we were joking around. We're like, "Oh, it's going to be blah, blah, blah." And dude, and now they got $100 billion to throw around. Maybe now they can throw it around.
Are they going to cure?
Maybe they can cure Ebola or whatever this is.
Corona. Well, you got to, the whole COVID-19. Because I believe technically Corona is a class or type of virus.
It's a family of viruses.
A cute little family.
A cute little family. It makes it sound...
SARS is the mommy. And...
MERS is the dad.
Yeah.
And this is the spunky
and
young
COVID-19
teenager.
Is the... He's out here. He's trying to go to university.
Trying to prove himself.
He's like, "Yeah, mom and dad, they killed people. I can kill people too."
I could kill too.
So yeah, it's last name Corona, first name COVID-19.
COVID. That's a pretty scary name for something. Yeah. COVID.
Yeah. But yeah, so things getting canceled.
Yeah.
I know they canceled the NBA suspended. And it was like Kobe died all over again.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think, this is scary stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but this is actually smart. This is a smart thing that we're doing collectively as the planet Earth right now. The dumb thing would be to bury our heads in the sand and act like nothing is happening. That would be less scary if we were like, it's fine. But also, the outcomes would, I think, probably be worse.
Yeah, I know. It's like
I think. I don't know.
I know. Stake basketball is canceled. I don't know. You probably haven't noticed. Got a beautiful bruise underneath my eye.
I did not.
From taking a punch to the face during basketball.
Voldemort's back. He's back. He's popping you in the face.
Voldemort's actually supposed to be on my team.
Voldemort, and he punched you?
No.
Oh.
He can't be bothered to show up.
I see.
But he would be on my team. It was someone else that was smacking me in the face.
Can we name this person?
Pete. It was Pete.
Pete.
Smacked me in the face.
Friggin' Pete.
I was a little heated. But we want, so...
Was this on purpose or...
I was going up for a shot, and he just decided to hit me in the face. I assume he was trying to go for the ball.
With the hand?
Yeah. I was struck in the face. Now I have a little bruise.
Huh. You look cool.
Thanks.
Super cool.
Point is,
my
team's
we're all gonna die.
My team's undefeated, but this means stake basketball. All church activities are suspended.
That is so crazy, dude.
So my entire identity is completely wrapped up in
church basketball.
Church basketball.
Yeah.
So that's a big shock.
Oh my gosh.
But is it the smart thing to do?
Do you think it is?
I mean, they announced the guy's like, hey, like the NBA obviously is canceled, but he's like, the stake president hasn't told me to cancel this league. He's like, if you're sick, don't show up, please. But we're still going. But President Nelson was like, nah, bro.
All of it.
All of it.
You can't even go in the buildings. It's smart. I think it's the smart thing to do.
I can't wait to do the sacrament at home.
Are we allowed to do that?
Well, it's you got to talk to your bishop, because I think they said bishops are responsible to make sure that members of the church get the sacrament at least once a month.
I see.
So, I mean, I'm just going to ask the bishop, be like, hey,
God bless me some bread, some
wave
water.
your hand like you got to do,
Yeah.
and give me that authority to break bread in my home.
Do whatever you got to do, Bishop, but make sure
I can't wait to flex my priesthood at home doing the sacrament.
I can flex my priesthood muscle and just like get my priesthood traps out and get my friggin' lats engaged. Friggin' like put my hands on like my wife's head and just like bring all the blessings in. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Exactly.
Protect this home from COVID-19. Then angels come around. Dude,
Real flexing. Hey.
I got news for myself. We can talk about it later in the show when we get more poignant, usually. We start off silly, we get more poignant as we go on.
Is that what we do? Yeah, I was about to say, what are you doing to protect yourself? Listen, I've got 2 essential oil diffusers running nonstop in my basement now.
Dude, I was getting groceries just before I came here, and I had the urge to I have the urge to cough right now, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's SARS or MERS or COVID-19 or nothing. Maybe it's just my own little like. I am a hypochondriac, self-diagnosed. Dude, I like before all this, I was literally like, is my heart okay? And then all this hit, and I'm like, oh, no, this is what I'm okay, yeah. So I've like switched things now, but so now I'm all in on. I was about to say another turn of phrase, but I refrained. I'm all in on COVID-19, prepping for it.
Yeah,
I'm ready, dude.
You got your 16 pounds of spaghetti.
Yeah, arms are heavy.
Arms are heavy with all the spaghetti.
And I'm friggin' ready, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were we talking about right before that?
Coronavirus.
Right. I was like, how have we run out of things to talk
church,
about?
How we're going to get what the church is doing. It's canceled. Steak ball's canceled.
Are you afraid of getting the thing itself?
No, I was just like...
You're a medical professional.
I am.
Can you tell us some things? Can you educate our listeners?
I mean, anecdotally,
That's the word.
that's the one. Some local news out of Calgary. My brother works in the Suncor building, where that little daycare full of little viral incubators, what some people call children.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
Skin bags,
These-
as I like to call them.
those little skin bags dumping viruses everywhere they go.
Viral dumps.
So they have a big meeting, and they're talking about COVID-19 and potentially working from home. And like some guy sneezes in the meeting, and that they yell at him. They're like, "Get out!" It's like he said he's got a bunch of coworkers that are already quarantined, and they went and they have drive-through testing
Here in Calgary.
It sounds. I haven't looked into it too much, but drive-through test. I do know about how they test for it.
How do they test?
The lateral flow immunoassays.
Okay.
Now, if you're just like, oh my gosh, Lyndon, you're so smart. What's that?
Oh my gosh.
It's the same principle as pregnancy test.
You pee on a strip?
Except in this case, it would be blood. You can use plasma, serum, or whole blood.
Okay.
And yeah, it would go onto like the little filter tip, and then it wicks along.
Yeah.
And then it goes and gets conjugate labeled antibodies, in this case for recombinant coronavirus proteins,
Okay.
which some, biomedical company made from all the sick people in China.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that. So then it picks up labeled antibody. In this case, it's like colloidal gold. And then it moves along and it gets to the detection. It's like the antibody against the antibody grabs onto it. You'll see a red line. So
If you have it.
Yeah, and remember a pregnancy test is always 2 lines.
2 lines.
Because there's a control line and then there's like the positive test line. Because if you get 0 lines, that means your test didn't even work.
Okay.
So if you see that it hit the control, that means that like your your sample actually went through, but didn't pick up any of the antibodies. So if you get 2 lines, it's positive. In this case, it's actually 3 lines because there's an IgM antibody and an IgG antibody, and it'll test you to see whether you have one or the other or both. And
How
there's
do they do this in a drive-through?
Well, you literally like drive up. They'll probably do a finger poke, and they'll take like a drop of your blood.
Then they sneeze on your finger.
Take a drop of your blood. I'm sure they're wearing PPE.
Personal protective equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they'll put the drops onto the pad and then a few drops of buffer. And then it takes about 15 minutes.
Huh. And you stick around while they're doing it.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to assume so.
So you're not just like, I want to be part of the aggregate data, just,
Yeah.
and I'm just loose. They're like, somebody had it. Oh, he's gone now.
So, yeah, I think now I'm saying this and I'm making a big risk because I literally just finished my course on immunology and I should 100% be able to speak about this with confidence. So I'm going to speak about it with some confidence.
Okay. Not encouraging.
Because, you're looking at it's like, so what's the difference between IgG, IgM? We're getting into the weeds here.
Instagram?
No.
Okay.
So if you tested and you had the IgM line, that probably means you are just recently infected because IgM is like the first antibodies your body makes. And then IgG is kind of like the more memory style antibodies.
Okay.
So someone who had like just the IgG line probably means like they had the infection and they've already recovered from it. And now they just have like memory antibodies sticking around so they don't get sick again. IgM would be like someone who's just infected, someone with both lines, someone who's right in the heart in the middle of it.
Okay.
But then, of course, to back it up, the confirmation testing would be PCR, nucleic acid polymerase chain reactions.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a smarty pants. You know that?
Hey.
Hey.
I do what I can. This is literally what I go to school for, so I would hope to know it.
Hey, we got a friggin' genius for a podcast host here, folks.
You're welcome. Any questions you have about the virus, just send it to me. I'll set you straight. Essential oil diffusers. It's what I do.
It's working great. Okay, so
So that's the
some
testing.
testing for it.
So yeah, you can get it. You can have results in like 15 minutes.
Should we go right now? Record as
I know.
we
I was gonna
drive?
look up. I was like, where do you go to get tested?
I want to be tested so bad.
They like take over a McDonald's. They're like, come to McDonald's on 33rd Street.
Also, do you want a Big Mac? No.
First window, Corona testing. Second window, pick up your order.
We slit your finger open. The second window, we give you a fry. Happy McDonald's Day. Also, you have coronavirus. You're positive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Prime Minister is self-isolating right now.
Yeah, his wife has it.
Did she actually have? I know she went to get tested.
That she might have it. Or she came from London or something. Tom Hanks has it. And his wife.
Good riddance.
Oh,
May
my
they be
gosh.
the first celebrity casualties.
Oh my gosh, Lyndon.
Did you see their son giving everyone in this update? He's like, let me update you on my parents' condition. And he's just shirtless.
No, what?
Yeah. I think it's because he's like, his
a
body's
doobie in
covered
his
in
mouth?
tattoos. So I think he's trying to show off his tattoos where he's like, this is my shirt.
Right.
But it's just like, couldn't be bothered to put a shirt on to like dress all the people that want to
The
be.
planet.
And his name's Chet.
I hate him already.
Doesn't Tom Hanks have like a famous son?
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah, why didn't Colin update us?
So it was Chet doing it?
Chet Hanks.
Chet Hanks here.
Shirtless Chet Hanks.
Sparks up a doob.
Rips a fat vape.
So, yeah. Blow some smoke rings. So, Pops and Mom friggin' got the coronavirus, bro. And I don't know, man. I hope those checks keep coming in. This vape isn't cheap, bro. And I can't afford to get those cheap pods either, man. My lungs are fried, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine?
So, R.I.P. Tom Hanks.
Hey, it's not super. I've heard 0.6% mortality rate.
Well, that's for like a certain bracket. Overall, I think it's like 2 to 3%, which is still pretty high. Because I know some people were like, 2,300 people died today of the flu. And it's like, listen, we know that people are going to die of the flu. That's why it's called the novel coronavirus. It's just like, we get it.
Yeah.
The flu kills people every year.
Yeah. This
is new.
Angry at us.
Novel. Dopamine gets my attention.
I like it.
It's like, we expect the flu to kill some people. We don't expect
Boring.
anyone to die of this.
Wah, boring. I don't like that.
But they are. And also, it's just like, big deal. It hasn't even, more people died in one day of the flu than people have in total of this virus. And it's like, you idiot.
The reckoning, the reaping is coming. The reaping is coming, and it's like here.
Give it some time. Yeah, well, the scary thing is because...
I guess that's the scare. I don't want to like spread too much fear, but like,
I'm
freaking out.
Right, so it's like in China was pretty hush-hush about all the stuff. They like gave out some numbers and some science stuff, but they don't talk about what's actually happening.
Ooh.
But like Italy, they actually talk about what's happening there because Italy has like a very good healthcare system, allegedly.
Okay.
And then, like I was talking about, like, in hospitals, there's like, everything's canceled. Surgeons, especially like your orthopedic, not orthotic. Your orthopedic surgeon is treating people with pneumonia. Wow. Like he's not doing surgeries anymore. So it's like, it's all hands on deck, just treating people with pneumonia.
Damn.
And they like come across like an 80-year-old and they're not even going to intubate them. They're like, we don't have enough ventilators for someone that's 80. They're just going to die.
Damn, dog.
So it's like the hospitals in like northern Italy are beyond capacity. Everyone, and it's like hospital workers there, they're all positive for coronavirus. But it's like, you just have a cough and no fever, back to work.
Get to work, pansy.
Yeah, so it's like healthcare workers are all positive, but they only stop going to work once they have the fever.
Damn.
It's very much like that movie Contagion.
Huh.
With Matt Damon.
I think we should watch that.
Everyone go on to Netflix, while you're self-quarantined. You're doing your isolation.
I refuse.
Watch Contagion.
I refused to watch that when it was like coming out, just because it was so like terrible. It's the scariest movie I could have like imagined. Is our reality now, our daily life?
I think I watched it in theaters.
Like I was eating that up. I loved it.
I was like, this is the best. It like came out when like zombie movies were huge.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think that's why people loved it. They're like, oh, is this like another zombie movie? It's like, no. It's like
It's real life.
It's like what would actually happen.
It's a prediction. It's a premonition of things to come.
They're like, yeah, pandemics are not zombies. It's just economic shutdown and healthcare collapsing.
Dude, that's the stuff that
So
kind of
that's-
scares me more.
But there's still hope, right? Because then you look at South Korea, where South Korea handled it very well. And so it's like their overall numbers, and I'm gesturing to Troy with my hands. I'm building graphs.
It's like a pyramid almost.
Well, because it's like you can have the exact same number of cases, but if you just spread it out over time.
Flattening the curve.
Yeah, that's what they say, right?
That's right.
So South Korea flattened the curve.
Okay.
So it's not like they
didn't inundate themselves with cases in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
They spread the cases, I guess, through the things that we're doing now. Is that right? Through like social distancing and
early screening.
Like
in the end, like Rudy Gobert, and the reason the NBA got canceled is like he got tested and he didn't even really feel that sick. Like he's just like, I'm not feeling that well. They're like, well, we better test you, and then he's positive.
Damn.
And then it ends up his teammate who shares his lockers right beside him, Donovan Mitchell.
He's got it too.
He's got it too, and he never would have known. He was asymptomatic. But that's the terrifying thing. Asymptomatic people, they tend to still spread the virus.
Yeah.
Not quite as well as symptomatic people, of course, but
We gotta get tested.
well, I probably don't have to.
Why?
Well,
Because I do what I want.
I haven't. We haven't gone anywhere.
But like
all the cases in Alberta are from people that traveled.
dude,
And
I work
that
at the
annoys me.
airport. I work at the airport corporate center. So I've had some contact.
You're like, I shake hands with Chinese diplomats every day.
This is what I do on my break. I go to the like new arrivals and I just shake hands because I'm like,
Take
welcome
big gulps of air.
home. Gulp. Yeah, and I say, welcome home, everyone.
Where you been?
Where you been?
Italy?
Like, Italy.
Iran?
Wuhan. The Middle East. And I'm like, huh. Well, back to work. And then I go back to work and I shake everyone's hand on my way back. And is this funny to make jokes about this? I can't tell.
Well, Rudy Gobert was making jokes about it, and he touched like all the microphones in an interview. Like he was being real funny. And then it turns out a few days later he has the virus, and everyone's like, that was in very poor taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they're like, we don't like him anymore. And there's like no sympathy for him that he's got the virus.
Well, there you go.
But,
I don't know. We just gotta. I think it is important to like keep some levity in our brains a bit here. I think it's easy to go down a rabbit hole of despair and hopelessness, but I think we need to avoid it, Lyndon.
Yeah. Like I've just resigned myself. Like I know I'm like, yeah, I'll probably get infected at some point.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I won't die because I'm 30 years old. And I did just the other day. We analyzed our own blood, so I made like a little blood smear, and I got to look at my cells. I was so proud.
Really?
I was like, look at my beautiful boys.
Look at these boys.
I was like, look at these perfect red blood cells. I was like, ooh, beautiful neutrophil, beautiful segmentation on that. I was like, ooh. Yeah.
Hey, what does it mean if you have high hemoglobin?
Excellent question. It means you got a lot of hemoglobin. Did you get a CBC recently?
Months ago.
Did it flag for hemoglobin?
Yeah, they said it was. I want to say 8.
Nope.
Okay.
It would be
No, never mind.
about 180 is probably when you're getting into the higher range. See, what's interesting is mine.
They said it was a little high is what they said. Higher than like what they would.
Because like, it's funny thing. On my analyzer, it flagged as high, but we don't actually put our actual details in. So like the male reference range for hemoglobin's a little higher. Also, the fact that we live in Calgary at higher altitude, our hemoglobin is a little higher.
Plus, I think I have sleep apnea, so I'm always like starving my body of oxygen.
That would do it too.
On a nightly basis.
You're like, I have sleep apnea in Calgary, Alberta.
So I'm like, hey, body, try to get by on this.
So you're just red blood cells are cranking out the hemoglobin.
Yeah. I looked it up, and it was like, while we're on the topic of like terrifying ourselves with medical issues, I looked up possible causes of high hemoglobin, and one of the things was like congenital heart failure. That was like the first thing that comes up. I'm like, all right.
Whereas I'm just like, oh, you're a male that lives in Calgary, so it should be a little higher.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what?
The real question is, what was your MCV, MCHC?
I don't remember.
All the red cell indices.
I think they said everything was fine, but that was the only thing that was sort of unusual was the hemoglobin.
Was your red blood cell count a little high too?
I don't remember.
Demand those results. You technically own them.
What's funny is
then let me look at them and analyze them on the podcast.
We should. I've dived right into all of my like somatic tendencies where I'm just like feeling everything in my body. I'm like, ooh, what's that? What's this? My hypochondria is just in full force right now. I've dived off the edge, man. I'm just like, I'm in it. Coronavirus, all of my, idiosyncrasies coming to light, swimming at the surface, as you can see.
Yeah, I'd love to look at your blood.
The guy cut to me dead on the floor, Lyndon bathing in my blood. The doctor, I did like the first test of the blood, and then he's like, you know what? I'll just fill out a second one of these things for you. Go get it done in a few months. And I ripped it up after a couple weeks because like I can't even like, you know what? Screw it. I don't even want to I don't want to know.
As a lab professional, I'm really annoyed by that.
Sorry.
Well, no, by the doctor.
Oh, okay.
One problem is like doctors ordering things needlessly. Like he's like, I'm just going to write this one for you.
Yeah.
Just if you feel like
whenever.
it.
Yeah, literally, that's what it was.
He's like, I don't actually need this for diagnostic reasons, but I'm going to write it, and we're going to make the lab do it.
Yeah. So I didn't follow up on that, and everything happens for a reason, or maybe not. I don't know. But
yeah, I like my reasons for your hemoglobin better than yours.
I like it too. Yeah, because I feel okay. You know what though? All this is. It hasn't done wonders for my psychosomatic symptoms, sort of cropping up here and there. But here's another question for you. This is just turning into like you as my doctor. Sometimes like
Go on.
Maybe it's like an off mic thing.
Oh boy.
We'll do this later. Let's get back to the topic at hand.
General Conference.
GC is. Can you believe this? This is unprecedented.
I'm surprised. So they're still doing it in the conference center.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd?
I thought it was small rooms.
Well, here's the other, because I have seen them like where they are having a thing with like one speaker, and they're just in like a tiny room with a camera. And I was like, this is weird. But now that they're going to be in like a giant empty conference center, I'm like, this is weird.
They should like show the empty.
Well, it's like
center.
the NBA and NCAA. Oh yeah, March Madness is canceled. We didn't even mention that. They're like, okay, we're going to do March Madness, but with no fans. And it's like, well, what's the point of college basketball without like the fans and like the fight songs and the band, So now it's like, what's the point of General Conference without the fans? Who are they even performing for?
Yeah.
It's like brothers and sisters. There's no brothers and sisters there.
No, there's no one. Empty
I
seats.
guess so. Like the choir will be there.
Now the Angels get more seats though, so that's good for them.
I guess.
They can fly, so who cares about that?
They can use the ceiling space.
Yeah.
They didn't need seats.
No. Yeah. All right. So
Well,
conference is canceled.
are they just going to talk about coronavirus the whole time?
I hope so.
Take your vitamins and wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
They say don't touch your face, and I'm like, here's the thing about that.
It's baloney.
No.
I heard it's baloney.
Well, no, it's probably true, but the thing is, like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to comply. I'm going to touch my face all the time.
I've been touching my face so much the last. I don't know if it's more or less than I usually do, but I'm definitely touching my
we're
face.
probably more cognizant of it.
Yeah.
But and it also made me realize how much I love touching my face.
Me too. My face is so itchy all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm just like,
He just touched his face. I haven't touched my face. My hands are glued to my face right now.
you're just like,
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's coronavirus. I don't know.
So, yeah, well, now I feel like coronavirus has stolen the thunder of the bicentennial.
Totally has. Yeah, it really, really has. Hopefully things are sorted out by conference and we can get back to normal.
Well,
No,
I don't
not
know.
the case.
Like, they canceled church world. Like, first they were like, okay, yeah, like Seattle and all these places that are having outbreaks, canceled, follow the advice of your church leaders. But they're just like, no. They're like, we've counseled with the Lord. It's all home center. Or are they just doubling down? President Nelson's like, I came up with this idea for home-centered church.
Yeah.
He's like, this is where we really push the limit.
Maybe he saw this thing coming. Or maybe he didn't see it coming, but maybe God saw it coming. And so he's just like, let's just ease into the fact that we're never going to see each other ever again.
I bet he was like, all right, everyone, take your vitamins. I think he's like, eat your vitamin pills. I bet he like sat down. He's like, why did I say that?
Yeah.
And God's in the background just like, mm-hmm.
They'll see. God's just like, got such a sense of humor. He's like, thousands of people will die. They'll see. Sorry, God. I'm going to start apologizing to God when I blaspheme.
Well, that's who you should apologize to.
Yeah. Sorry, God.
And yourself, because you're doing yourself more damage.
Sorry to myself.
Sorry, Troy.
Dude, I had I don't like, this is such bad timing for this, but because it's going to be like, oh, of course you're having this epiphany. But I had this epiphany before this got bad. Because this got bad in the last 3 days, I'd say.
48 hours.
Yeah.
3 days ago, were we even talking about this?
That's when I got scared. I think, what day is it today? Thursday? Monday. I think it was Monday. I listened to a couple podcasts where it was just like, okay, like you need to take this seriously. And the hype has spread almost as fast as the friggin' virus itself. But I had a revelation, Lyndon. Do you want to hear about it?
I would, yes.
Here's the revelation. I got the revelation that I need to be more hopeful and believing. That's the log line. More hopeful, more believing. With this as this would be like the little line, the little summation line I would use.
I feel like that's a revelation you've had before.
Yeah.
Nice that you've had it again.
Yeah. Well, I realize how cynical I've been. I've been so cynical. I gave a talk on Sunday.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. And so a lot of this is from a lot of these thoughts. Because, like, I got the talk, and then I was like...
Just in time for church before it was canceled.
I'll be the last speaker people will hear.
For the rest of their lives.
Maybe the rest of their short, miserable coronavirus lives. Oh, man, that's too dark. I'm sorry. You're going to live through it. Trust me.
You're going to hear General Conference. That'll be the last.
Yeah. The last thing you'll hear before the life rattles out of your your horrifically damaged, pneumonia-ridden lungs. Oh, man. I'm just begging to get a bad case of corona. We'll be the voice of our dear Lord not Lord Prophet. Our dear prophet, P. Nels. Ooh, has anyone ever discovered that before? P. Nels?
Don't like it.
Sounds like something else. So it was to be, I've just been very cynical. I've been a Neil deGrasse Tyson. Anyone who heard my talk will have heard me talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson and how Neil deGrasse Tyson can't enjoy films because he's so caught up on nitty-gritty details and how, like, oh, this is, like Interstellar's not quite right because they used the wrong packet of ready-to-eat meals or whatever. And so it's like he's getting, bogged down on that. Meanwhile, we're traveling through dimensions. We're going through wormholes. We're seeing Tesseracts and time-space continuum is affected in the gravity and love and all this stuff. And he's caught up on, like, well, that's not how AI would work. So that's how I felt I've been. I've been a Neil deGrasse Tyson. I haven't been able to enjoy the film of the Gospel of Jesus Christ because I've been too caught up on these little nitty-gritty details.
Yeah.
Like polygamy. and what else? The seer stone being found in a well.
I know. And I'm like, Troy, raise your eyes up to the Tesseract.
Eyes. Look at that Tesseract. Look at this fun thing we're looking at. Truly, though, and I mean, it's not that those things don't matter, but I guess it's like maybe it's a missing the forest through the trees situation. Mm-hmm. And I had this thought a couple weeks ago, kind of leading up to having to give a talk because it was like, how do you get a testimony? And I was like,
was that the subject they gave you?
That was the subject. I was
inspired.
Like, oh, they're asking the wrong guy about this. And so anyway, I started thinking about it, and the thing that the thought I came to was, there are some things that can only happen after you have faith. There are some things that can only happen after you have faith. In fact, a lot of things.
Amen.
And it's simply that's like an empirically true statement. The very cynical side of me, that it passed muster with that Neil deGrasse Tyson side of myself. Like, it's true. Anything I've ever accomplished or gotten in life I got it after I believed that I could get it. And I did the work to do it. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's sort of like, and then the believing side was like, well, the belief, I think I define belief this way. Belief is like the openness, the willingness, to the possibility that your hopes and dreams and wishes could be true. That's how I defined it as. Just
like while we're on that thread of films, you got to suspend your disbelief.
That's right. I even said that. I said that in my talk. I was like, Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't suspend his disbelief. And I don't either. But I'm starting to. I'm starting to resuspend my disbelief.
It's like you can't enjoy a film until you do that.
Yes. And like, it's so interesting. Once I started to think like this, all these scriptures came to mind, like in Alamo, where it's like you got to give place. You got to create a little room in your heart to believe. And then it all can sort of come from there with the hope and the faith and everything. But yeah, just the openness to the possibility that your hopes and dreams could be true. And so this is my epiphany, Lyndon. What do you think?
I like it. I'm loving every bit. I can't believe you didn't tell me to come to your sacrament talk.
I know. I thought about that. I thought about like inviting. I should have. I should have like invited everyone I know because it's like that's the last talk anyone's ever gonna hear or give. It was mine. But
yeah, it was like when I spoke in Banff. I was like, should I invite everyone?
Yeah.
And then we'll all go to the hot springs afterwards.
Yeah, have a little post-church soak.
Very reverent.
Yeah. I thought about it, and then I didn't do it, and maybe I should have. But
you didn't even invite your parents?
I got too nervous. I was too nervous.
Oh, I invited my parents to every single one of my YSA talks.
It was a big weekend.
I was like, I need a posse.
It was a big weekend. I was kind of getting stressed out, and it was very jam-packed, and I was just like, I can't. It's all too much. I just need to lay the pressure off of whatever pressure's already there is good enough. So,
well, that's good.
So that's my epiphany. And
great work on your talk.
Thank you very much.
Great work on the member of the bishopric that sprang that on you.
Brother Barr. He's an inspired man of God, I say. He helped me come to an epiphany in a roundabout way.
Too bad we won't be seeing him on Sunday.
Yeah. So that was my epiphany, my unrelated epiphany, and then 2 weeks later we're getting ready to shut things down.
I feel bad. I'm never out here bringing in some fresh revelation. Like you're just like, I had this realization, and I'm just like, and I'm over here just like, I'm doing Lent. It's like I haven't had caffeine in like 3 weeks.
Really?
Or carbonated beverages.
Hey, good for you.
I realized.
How does it feel?
Well, Jasmine, the wife.
Yes.
You know, it's always interesting speaking with people when I talk about like my wife.
My wife.
Because people don't know her, but they know me. Really?
I really did. That movie is wild, dude. That's a crazy movie. But anyway, back to your... The movie, you remember seeing it in the theater?
No.
Laugh out loud funny. But now it's like, holy cow. I'm surprised they don't like go back and retroactively cancel Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, how does he get away? I guess it's because
Didn't he sort of get canceled?
I wouldn't be surprised. He is Jewish, right?
So he's got immunity.
Yeah, he makes so many Jew jokes. So anyway, back to, so people know you, they don't know your wife.
So you have to say my wife.
Yeah.
Because they know you, so they understand their relation to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say to you, Jasmine, because you know her.
Yeah.
But our listeners, I suppose a good proportion,
Yeah.
not even. A low proportion of our listeners know my wife.
So you got to say my wife.
Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I was referring to her for anymore.
Sorry.
Lent, right?
Lent.
She's always looking for, she's like, how does it feel? No caffeine. Eh? She's trying to get me to be like, I can't bear it. I'm so addicted.
Yeah.
But I give up caffeine for Lent usually every year.
Really?
Well, yeah. It's like proof to myself that I'm not addicted. That I'm just like, okay, now I don't, drink caffeinated beverages anymore. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
Also, after, 40 odd days of not drinking caffeine, the first hit, beautiful. Your body's completely resensitized to it. And it's like, oh, the focus.
Feels good.
Oh, yeah.
It's that tongue and the brain just firing off. Ooh, I remember this.
And it's like, I feel so focused.
Yeah.
I could accomplish anything right now.
Oh,
So, yeah, I will gladly go 40 days without it just to get that feeling again.
That's the most addict thing you could do.
Where it's just like,
That's
it's so easy. It's so easy to not take it when you know what's coming at the end.
You're like...
So, yeah, no, I don't have an addiction. I never got any headaches when I quit, and I'm fine every day without it.
You're like,
But
dude.
boy, do I look forward to when I'm back on the stuff.
I'm only doing it for one big hit at the end.
Oh, yeah.
It's the ultimate hit, the ultimate high. The end of Lent.
Oh, the end of Lent. So,
End
yeah.
of Lent high.
And then then Jasmine made me double down. I was like, no caffeine. She's like, and no carbonated beverages. I'm like, fine.
Okay, fine. Well, good for you. I haven't cut anything out. I've cut things in, really.
Do you not even believe in the temptations of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? I felt like it. I feel
the
like
believing side of
I
me
feel like
says,
if you
yes,
cared
I do.
or believed, you would wholeheartedly partake of the Catholic tradition of Trent. The Catholic tradition of Lent.
You know, I literally just now, you saying that made me realize what Lent is all about. And the snow just started falling. Can you believe it? Just looked outside. There's snow falling.
Snow.
Looks kind of nice. Yeah, I didn't even realize that's what Lent was until you said that. I never took the time.
I've also been fasting periodically. I don't eat meat on Fridays.
Why? Just for...
That's a Lent thing.
It's a Lent thing.
Well, it's a Catholic thing. Some Catholics don't eat meat on Friday throughout the entire year.
Huh.
And then some Catholics just do it for Lent. So, yeah.
If I wasn't a Mormon, I think I'd be Catholic.
Mm.
You know, I skipped all the like boyhood stuff, so that like I think I'm in the clear for getting clipped
Yeah.
by a priest. But
You're out of that demographic.
yeah, I think I am. Who knows? I go in. I'm like, hey, Father, how's things? Like, oh, good. Why don't you come in the back? We'll do some confessing. I'm like, whoa, Father, put your pants back on. I'm like from Boston all of a sudden.
You're from Boston and he's Irish.
Yeah.
That's
Father, put your pants back on. I gotta confess some things. I've been very cynical the last 3 years. And I'm a Mormon.
what do you think is the penance for being a Mormon?
Ooh, it's 6 Hail Marys and a slap on the tush. I don't know, dude. I mean, like, of all the Christian churches, I mean, save some ones where maybe some physical lacerations get thrown into the mix, punishment-wise. But I'd say our church is the most hardcore with repentance procedures, I'd say.
Very stringent.
Yeah, stringent, methodical, repetitious. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Catholics were onto something with indulgences. And then after that, they really had to tone it back because they're like, oh boy, we goofed. So now they're just like, say some prayers.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, come on.
Come on.
Take it seriously, guys.
Come on, guys.
Give them a custom plan and
make them read the miracle of forgiveness.
give them some restrictions.
Yeah, custom plan. Give them a letter with their name on it. Make them report in every so often. Anyway.
Did we get any emails?
You know what? Let's take a look.
I remember someone asking for our email.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we have. I'll tell you what we do have is some Instagram folks who wrote in. Wait, hold on one second. Google.
So we have Instagram messages and perhaps emails.
So we got this thing from this place called Podcorn Sponsorships, and this one I finally like fell for. I like signed up for it.
Oh no!
And it's this thing where you like you have to like pitch your podcast, and I think you have to have like more listeners than we do or downloads or whatever. But I like pitch to the Calgary Flames, which is like a moot point now because it's like it's all canceled. So who cares? But it was supposed to be like you do like an ad read or whatever, and it was and I just did it by myself. I was like, to get the real like vibe, I would need Lyndon here, but also it's a lot of work and I can't be bothered to do anything more with that. I'll go to our Instagram though because I know we have some things to talk about there.
Yeah. Hey everyone, why don't you listen to our podcast at a Calgary Flames game? Brought to you by the Calgary Flames organization.
Brought to you by Calgary Flames. That's all the Flames.
Brought to you by the Forzani Group.
The funnest way to get. I was gonna say AIDS. Funnest way to get AIDS this side of. I'll just stop talking.
But now the Calgary Flames will not give us ad time.
No.
We will not be able to sell ad space to them now.
No, certainly not. There's a so I don't know if you guys remember Jen. Jen is hey Jen, what up? She was a listener who an out of the blue listener. Neither of us knew her. She knew us purely from just discovering the podcast. It was kind of a special moment for us, and so that's why we featured her so heavily. She was like much like I'm sure there's some benchmark indicator with coronavirus. She was our benchmark of like, oh, we're going viral. Except we weren't. Unlike coronavirus, we are not going viral. But we got she told me that like someone else had been like, yeah, my friend, because I asked her how did she discover us? And she's like, well, a friend of mine told me about it. He said he wrote into you, but like you guys like didn't say anything to him. I'm like, oh, like what? Did he email? She's like, no, he dove into our DM. That's not it.
Slide.
It
slid.
He says dropping into your DMs, boys. He says this guy's name.
And I'm about to be like, Troy, you never check our direct messages coming from the guy who lost the login information for our Instagram.
You don't even know how to get on. And I honestly don't know how to like change our password on this. So like if I lose this login, then we're screwed. But
yeah, I've already lost it. If you lose it, it's over.
We'll just start a second one. I don't know. Dude. So iPhone Venturer is his Instagram. And
he sent us a message months ago.
January 8th, back when we were all still.
That was like 2 episodes ago.
Healthy and wealthy and well. This is what he says, and you're going to love this first part, Lyndon. I forget what all of this says. It's kind of a heartfelt message. So, iPhone Venturer, this one's for you. Sorry for the long-awaited email read or message read.
Great things come to those who wait.
Dropping into your DMs, boys. I recently found your podcast by way of Good Report.
No.
Can you believe it?
I will not believe.
He first discovered of Good Report.
How did he discover of Good Report?
And then, well, I'll say, as I continue to read, I think you'll see why.
Cross-platforming of Good Report. You're like, by the way, check out Mission Stories.
I think there was. You know, it's funny. I went back and listened to an episode of Good Report, and go check it out, guys. If you like this podcast, I think me and Theo Gibb, a frequent guest of this podcast, we had our own little sub podcast called Of Good Report, and it was about Mormon cinema. And then we realized, like, oh, there aren't that many Mormon movies, so we kind of ran out. Also, they're like a nightmare to watch, and I was getting kind of burned out.
And as someone who was not involved with that podcast, I would say not worth your time. I'm not even there. So
it's funny because Lyndon hates it. I think it's jealousy. I think it's fear.
Jealousy, greed, pride,
ego,
gluttony.
What's the other one?
Violence. I don't know.
What's the other one? Oh, what is
Lust.
it? Lust. No. There's one that's dumb. There's one that's like really old timey. Like forbearance. Or, I don't know. Forbearance.
For all those reasons, I don't like it. So he
says he found it by way of Good Report.
That I can't believe. Continue.
He says, and I'm really enjoying the conversations. I enjoy the humor and the willingness to speak evil of the Lord's anointed.
We don't do that.
Wait, I don't know what you're listening though.
You're confusing us for a different podcast.
Yeah. And then he says, but somehow in a faithful way. I did apologize for blaspheming against the Lord's anointed.
I think you had to apologize to God and the prophet just this episode.
Yeah, just this very episode. So fair enough. He says, I left the church 10 years ago, but still find myself listening to podcasts about it on a daily basis.
He didn't go anywhere.
He says, I guess it's true that we can leave it, but we can't leave it alone. Yeah, man. Had there been members of the church like yourselves when I was going through my crisis, I might have stayed. Instead, whenever I brought up my doubts, I was called a liar, told I wasn't praying hard enough, or said I had lost the spirit. At the time, I was a professor at BYU-I, so I also didn't want to lose my job. This guy's wild. This guy's like, I don't know.
He's got a whole thing going.
Yeah. He's a professor at BYUI.
Should we have him on as a guest?
Yeah, we should. All
right, guests have been canceled because of the coronavirus.
Right, never mind. Also, never mind. Keep it up, he says. I don't believe in the church anymore, but I like to see people who can make it work even when they suspect it may not be true. Your podcast helps me to look back on my former life with fondness, a life that I don't think is true, but wish it had been. I feel like we got to say some things to this guy. What do we say to this guy? What do we say to this guy and every guy like him?
Wish it back, brother.
Wish it back, brother. Maybe this episode is just for you, iPhone venturer. Believe.
Suspend your disbelief.
Suspend your disbelief. Listen, we all know that's all wonky and there's a bunch of crazy crap and they never even blah, blah, blah.
Gosh, this guy worked at BYUI.
Yeah.
He was in the thick of it.
He was in the thick of it. Poor guy. Listen, man, just just believe, just be open to the possibility that what you want to be true is maybe true. That's all you got to do. And, and it'll do wonders for you.
Or it's like, well, you need the church to be empirically true? Pfft,
get out of here.
Forget it.
Get out of here.
You are the master of your own ship.
Yeah.
And if you want the church to be true and you want all the blessings of the true church in your life, you make it happen.
Because you know what, iPhone venturer and others like yourself, some things can only happen after you believe.
Also, he's been out 10 years.
10 years.
Oof, good luck.
He says he wants it to be true, though. He says he wishes it was true. This guy reminds me of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's never too late. I mean, it kind of is too late to go back to church now, but...
There's so many people so mad that we would say that. So, ooh, 10 years out?
I'm just saying because church is canceled, Lyndon.
Well, yeah. Okay.
He literally...
I thought you were saying, like, he's gone 10 years down a stream. What's he going to do? Turn around and paddle his way back up?
If he could go back to church, he ought to. Too bad he can't because church is canceled.
But here's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
He can go back to home center. He's been doing home centered church for 10 years.
He's probably more faithful than
he listens to this podcast.
So you know he's good. Yeah.
And if he comes to my house, I'll
forgive him of all his sins.
I'll do the sacrament for him.
Yeah, hear his sins.
I'll wave my hands. I'll listen to his sins.
Put some ash cross on his head.
I guess even though church
slap his tushy.
Is suspended, I'm not a bishop. But if I call my bishop and say, I've got a guy here, can I give him the sacrament? And he's like, I think that's a good idea. And I was like, can I hear his confession?
Yeah.
And he's like, what was that? I was like, thanks, bishop.
Yeah. Just throw some other authoritative things in there. Also, can I hear his confession and can I absolve him of all his sins? Also, is the church true? And he'll be like, of course, yes. And be like, hey, thanks. And then hang up.
And I'm like, we got the go ahead.
When you get the answer you want, hang up. I learned that from Moneyball.
So
Brad Pitt.
That's a good film.
It's a great film. I have a feeling the world's going to be watching a lot more Netflix in the next little while. So send us your movie lists. Send us, post it.
Yeah.
And we'll be here providing that content because they can keep us away from work. They can keep us away from the mall and from hockey and basketball and even church. But they can't keep us away from this podcast, can they, Lyndon?
No. Was that the end of that fella's post?
That's all he had to say, yes.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad that, that's what he heard.
But to be fair, to be sincere for a second, come back. Come back. I can tell this guy wants to come back.
Where, he's like, there were no members of the church like you guys. I was like, not in your ward.
Dude, we're here.
But in the podcast stake. Which is how we do church now.
Yeah. It's literally how it's got. I sound like Mark Wahlberg right now. Hey, listen, guy. Listen. Welcome to church. It's me, Mark Wahlberg.
We're having church.
Hey, welcome to church. Mark Wahlberg here. Ash Wednesday. It's Ash Wednesday, and Transformers is coming out. And it's on Netflix. Hey, Mark Wahlberg. All right, that's enough. I just got like too infatuated with my own impression of Mark Wahlberg. But come back, guy.
Is this what it's like when you go to church in like Utah and Idaho? Is that you're just like, if you're just like, hey guys, these little grits of sand are hurting my testimony.
Boom!
And they're just like, you haven't even tried essential oils for that.
Have you ever even sold an alarm system before?
Where's your faith?
Where's your faith, coward? You haven't been praying hard enough, have you, Mr. Rational Thought? Yeah. You know what's funny, though? The actual trick is to suspend your rational thought. Or to not, like... Here's what I would say to that guy. And I guess, like, to myself, too. It's like... To myself, like, 2 weeks ago, I would say... Your rational thought, it's like, yes, it's a valuable asset to have, to be able to think and reason through things this way. But also, keep some room. Leave room for, like extraordinary things, for the extraordinary. I just look at even the placebo effect by itself is like
a miracle.
It's a miracle. It's literally a miracle. It could be the thing that we like. The placebo effect on its own could be what miracles are, you know? When it's like, oh, it's weird. It's like when people believe a thing can happen, it like happens. It's so strange. And we're like, we ascribe this like fancy scientific word to it. And I don't want to be like a science denier. I'm definitely not. But also science is in and of itself just a bunch of assumptions that began with like a magical Big Bang. That's magical. That's otherworldly and ethereal. It's like, how did that happen?
No one ever did a science experiment without faith.
Yeah.
Suck it, Neil deGrasse.
Hey, Neil, go suck one. What? I won't say. Go ask Father O'Grady about it.
Oh, back on that. Well, hey, thanks for this guy for recommending the podcast.
Sorry to all the Catholics out there. I'm a big fan, and if I wasn't a Mormon, I would be a Catholic. I'm just saying.
If I wasn't a Latter-day Saint, I'd be a Mormon. And then I'd be a Catholic. And then I'd be a godless hedonist.
No, I'd be a Jew. Then I'd be a Jew.
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
You're not an actual Jew. It's like a racial thing, too.
Haven't you ever seen Seinfeld when the dentist converts to Judaism strictly for the jokes?
That's a whole thing. Do they even really let people do that anymore?
I don't know. They might not. I know that they discourage it, actually.
They're like, da, 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 da. You don't want a part of this.
You want no part of this. Yeah. Have I offended enough people yet, do you think?
Probably.
While they're canceling everything, cancel this. That would be my comedy special. That would be the name of my comedy special.
Cancel this.
Cancel this. And then
it's probably coming out on Netflix next week.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be?
And it would be my butt. It would be.
Yeah, who did Pete Davidson just came out with one. And I was like, is this the comedy special no one asked for?
And it is, and it's not great.
I did not watch. I saw one clip of it, and I was like, not for me.
There's a Louis C.K. story right at the beginning, so that was what drew me in.
Ooh, I'd like that.
Yeah, so watch that, and then
turn it off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so strange from like a comedy standpoint. It's like he doesn't understand. It's so I don't understand how he got so big. I mean, he's a handsome chap, so there's that.
I think he's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, he is, and that's that's
he's
his
handsome
charm.
like a serial killer.
Right.
Like, yeah, I find him very unsettling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I was like, if I saw this guy alone, I'd assume he's eyeing up my liver for a tasty snack.
And he is.
And so I'd have to counter that by eating his liver first.
Sure. And it's always a race to see who can. It's like it's like the Cold War. What was it? The arms race or whatever. It's like mutually assured liver eating destruction.
Yeah.
So
I don't care for him that way.
I was gonna say it seems like,
and he got big on SNL during a period of my life where I never watched SNL.
Yeah, same.
So I don't like him. He's not funny.
His comedy chops. It's like he doesn't have comedy chops. I mean, like, and I'm not a comedian, a professional comedian, but I feel like I've seen enough to be like, you need like a setup and a punchline, and I don't know. That's pretty basic, and I just was like, okay, where's the setup? Where's the punchline? And it's like even the audience was like, okay, when do I laugh? You know. Anyway, Pete Davidson, go watch it. This episode brought to you by Pete Davidson.
He's like, I want you guys to bash me for a little bit, then tell everyone to watch.
yeah. Podcorn. We got a sponsorship.
Thanks, Podcorn.
So anyway, what else do we've been doing this for an hour 5.
Emails.
There was no emails.
What?
That was all that we had.
I was promised an email from a gentleman.
I'm sorry there. Oh, did someone say they were going to email and they didn't?
Yeah.
Let me take a look. Who was it? Do you want to?
It was Big J.
Big J Okerson.
Yeah, how'd you guess?
Hold on. Oh, it's. I wondered why I saw this name. It's in promotions.
What?
Yeah, it's so strange. What else is in here? So I'm just looking at a folder of our thing. I guess I should check all of our. Yeah, there is Oh, whoa.
I'm waiting for you to either say there were 0 emails or there's like 12.
There's one email. Sorry.
One email.
Sorry, guys.
What, did it go to the junk folder?
This is from Jace Gurr.
Jace Gurr,
and the subject is erotica, and I'm reading this for the first time. I'm just going to read it. Whatever's on here, it's getting put out, so whatever. What up, mother truckers? And it does say truckers. I like to think I'm a true and faithful, but I don't know how faithful I've really been. Lyndon asked me to listen to your first episode before it was released for some feedback, and then I never heard anything about the podcast for several months. I've been playing catch up ever since. That's where those numbers are coming from. Thanks, Jace. This would be a really long email if I said everything I wanted to say regarding all episodes, but I don't remember all those little points and details anymore, and I doubt you do either. So, yeah. Hey, try us.
Yeah.
Try us, dude.
I got a big noggin.
Sometimes I go back and listen and laugh because I'm so funny and Lyndon's so funny and we're so funny together. Number 1, he says, I enjoyed Theo laying down the laying down the law regarding the church's finances. He's the voice of reason. Thank good on you, Theo. Yeah, everyone hates my opinions about that, and fair enough. Yeah. I've changed my ways. The church was right to stockpile money. Now that we're in a huge crisis, I take it all back. I'm the son of Alma. Alma the Younger.
You know, the podcast needs a heel, and it needs a hero. And in that episode, just like WWE,
yeah,
the heels and the heroes, they switch roles all the time.
Yeah. And it was an act the whole time, so you're welcome.
Except those shows are written, and this one is just real and raw.
Yeah, this is raw. Yeah, so guys, I'm back on board, okay? And straighten me out. You're hearing me going off the straight and narrow? Friggin' beat my butt with sticks. Except don't come near me, because...
That'd be dangerous.
You have coronavirus and everything, but
straighten them out with your words.
Yes,
we love it.
We love it. Sticks and stones are words.
Yeah,
now.
Jen gave me a lashing.
Yeah,
I didn't learn anything from it though.
No, and you didn't even it didn't even faze you. So number 2, his second point, bit of a throwback to patriarchal blessings. Fun fact: did you know that for a while you could get a second patriarchal blessing? In fact, my mother received a second one shortly before it was announced that they will no longer be allowing that. Excuse me. And there's also a bit of skepticism. That's me nervously swallowing air for the last hour because of coronavirus. In fact, my mother received a second one shortly before it was announced that they will no longer be allowing that. And there's a bit of skepticism, for lack of a better term, regarding her second one in my family. Fun times. Oh, we got to read that second one.
Interesting. There's a lot of skepticism in a lot of families about patriarchal blessings.
Yeah.
We're like, wait a second.
Hey, this never happened. Yeah.
That was never even an option.
No.
That guy was just talking nonsense.
He just started talking. So number 3, lastly, I will admit that I always enjoyed the actual mission stories and learning about life in other parts of the world. But I can completely understand how it could get tiring or monotonous. So with this new format you're doing, which is whatever the hell you want, that's his word, not mine. I would never use such a word.
Well, you would, but
if you, and I have, but not anymore. But if you,
you got to stay true to the
but I'll
email.
literally read whatever it says. So if you want me to say like anything, just like type it in, and I'll read it on live on the air. And I won't have read it before, but I'll say it.
Well, we have edited before.
We have. No more though. Well, we still do. We do whatever the hell we want. He continues, do you think you'll rebrand it or call it something else? Interesting question. What do you think?
Well, Mission Stories has always been a brand.
Yeah.
In and of itself.
Yeah.
And we also happen to tell mission stories.
Yeah.
It comes from the sketches.
The sketches.
And the sketches, there was like one mission story told in the entire sketch. But it was called Mission. It's a part of the culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
so right.
But also, people are often very confused.
It went from being an apt description of the show to being just like...
Even in the beginning, though.
Yeah, even then. Even then, it was iffy at best. But...
like Mission Stories was just a jumping off point.
Yeah.
For our streams of consciousness.
And it's we should almost put like quotations around it now where it's like Mission Stories quotes. I think that'd be like not a bad way to rebrand.
Remember when we were going to do a season 2?
Yeah.
And then we just like started season 2 and just never.
Yeah. We have been.
Oh yeah, because Life's a Mission.
Life's a Mission is the new
was the sign off for season 2
thing, and we're still. Should we start season 3, or do we like Life's a Mission?
Well,
or does that matter?
Well, yeah, Life's a Mission was the signal that we're moving on from proselyting mission stories.
Yeah. To
more like life stories.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could work on
it. Like I couldn't care less what we do.
when we we're gonna have a Mission Stories episode where we're like, today we're talking about Ernest Hemingway. Yeah. And we're like, life's a double-barreled shotgun.
Yeah, maybe it's like something new every episode. Maybe we'll try that. We'll get your improvisation skills up to snuff. Actually, because you improvise it all anyway. You have to like connect whatever the last thing. You have to like summarize the episode, connect the last thing I said to life being a mission. You're doing a lot there.
It's my job.
It's your job. You're the anchor here.
I have one job on this podcast. That's to wrap up an episode.
Yeah. Remember when we were going to do summaries of Sunday school?
I didn't want to bring that up. I was hoping everyone had forgotten that.
Right.
We literally came to an ironclad resolution.
Yeah,
in the last episode. We're like, it's
happening.
And then we didn't record for 6 weeks.
Dude, we should. This could be people's church from now on.
Well, yeah. This might be how people have to get the gospel.
Through us.
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah. And then at the beginning of every episode, we're like, this. It's like, this is the 58th episode of Mission Stories, official representative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, someone call up Bonneville Distribution.
Yeah.
You want to add us to your network?
Put us in, baby. We're on the bench. We're ready to go.
Give us that first presidency seal of approval.
And we don't have coronavirus yet, so we're good to go, baby.
Can't transmit coronavirus over the airwaves.
Or can you?
It might mutate. It might evolve.
Yeah, that's what we find out a week from now.
What do you know about quantum physics?
Yeah. Nothing? Great.
That's what the virus wants.
Yeah.
It's going to quantum entangle into your DNA
It's
through a
sentient.
podcast.
It thinks. It's like it wants things. Oh gosh, Lyndon, I think everything's gonna be fine. I think we should. Listen. We need to get on a more regular schedule. I will say that
We say that
every time.
we have actually a regular schedule of we go hard for about 8 weeks.
Yes.
And then for no apparent reason,
you know what? Though?
no episodes.
Doing it every week sometimes feels like a lot, but because it's like you do the thing. It's like it feels almost like a cycle that like eats its own tail. Like it's like, oh, we just did this. We got to do it all over again. But to the listener, it's just like it happens every week. I'm okay with irregularity in the schedule, especially now that the world is entering apocalypse mode for some short period of time, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's try to do this a little more often, unless I get friggin' corona, and then I'll we'll do it over we'll figure something out.
Yeah. We're all quarantined and
Yeah.
home-centered church or podcast-centered church.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Same. Guys, stay hopeful, stay believing, I say.
Did we finish that email?
Which one? Oh.
Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where'd we leave off?
I mean, I guess if we're going to not do one of these for a while, we can go as long as we want.
Remind me, where were we at with Jace?
We're done with Jace. That's all.
What did he say?
Oh, he said, keep on keeping on, home skillets. Jace. That's how he signed off.
That's what I missed. Right, let's keep on keeping on.
Okay.
For Jace.
For Jace. For iPhone Venturer. For Jen.
Yeah.
For,
I think I saw Jace was trying to sell his car on Facebook.
hey.
If you're listening to this podcast, go buy Jace's car.
Yeah. Jace Gurr. Gurr.
Let me give you his phone number and his address. Quick,
Social insurance number.
Don't ask.
661.
All right, Troy would know that.
I could find out, but I get fired, and I would never do that if anyone is listening.
If my CRA handler is listening to this.
Please no. I joke a lot. I say a lot of things. I would never do that.
How is the CRA? Is it like a busy time for the CRA?
I don't know if people know this. I switched jobs. I used to collect taxes. Now I work at the call center for the Canada Revenue Agency. I hear a phone ringing. Was that you?
That's mine. That's
okay.
mine.
Maybe check that. I mean, it is coming down a little bit. I don't want to keep you here. Plus, you have supplies to get, and you can have some of mine if.
This is the thing that I got. Alert! Get home quick. This is from Jasmine.
Okay.
All our avocados have turned ripe at once. We have a very small window here. It was a little worse when it's like, get home right now.
Yeah.
The avocados are ripe.
I was going to say, did we miss something while podcasting? Did something crazy happen? Should we check the news real quick?
Should we do another Twitter? The Russians have come over the top.
Let's just check the news real quick. Hold on. Cruise ship. Coronavirus.
Norm Macdonald canceled all his stand-up.
Yeah, that's everybody. Everyone's canceling. Disneyland is closed, I heard. That's sad. All right, never mind. Everything's the same.
Wait, people are just like, wait, are you guys literally just reading Twitter right now?
Okay, here we go.
I just want, it's like, these people could never be updated because they're going to listen to this tomorrow, if anything.
Yeah, reading it live.
Anything that we're telling you right now, you will hear about.
It'll be out of date.
The most important news is that all my avocados at home are ripe.
Yeah, ready to be eaten.
And they need to be eaten in like 4 hours because that's how avocados are.
Really? Damn.
Here's the trick.
Yeah, we got 4 hours.
They turn ripe. Toss them in the fridge.
Okay.
That'll slow them right down.
Slow the decay down.
Yeah. You know,
people want to know how to slow the spread of of avocado ripeness.
You know, because they're not ripe, hard as rocks, and then suddenly they're like, I'm ready to be eaten.
Eat me right now.
And if you're at work, you get home,
You gotta
rotten. Ratchet avocados.
All right. What else?
But that won't be a problem soon, as we're all quarantined at home.
Yeah.
You're going to be sitting there staring at your avocados. Because they're going to be the last avocados you ever eat.
You're going to be talking to them.
Who's going to deliver the avocados to the grocery stores now? No one.
Chinese
gonna be
delivery
picking
man?
Yeah.
No.
I've often wondered, because they talk about like, oh, if you get quarantined, just have your groceries delivered to you. I was like, well, what about these poor people doing the deliveries? Didn't you just play a video game about this?
Yeah, I did. Dude, I've been preparing for the apocalypse my whole life, dude.
Where they're just like, listen, it's the
Death
end of
Stranding.
times, and the real heroes are the people delivering goods to people.
Truly, I played that game, and it was better than everybody thinks it is. So, Death Stranding is the game. Go play it. Give it a shot. You'll hate it at first, but like you'll get addicted to it. Once you start building the roads, oh, baby. I've never been so driven to complete a thing.
Brought to you by Sony.
Sony and Hideo Kojima's
Latest
company.
studio.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get kicked out of that one too. I don't know. What else? What else we got?
Well, I'll just do the thing I do.
Okay.
Listen, folks. The prophet has told us to eat our vitamins.
Yep.
Get your vitamins. Stay hydrated. I recommend, if you don't have an essential oil diffuser, I don't think it actually works, but if it does, just get them.
Damn, you'll wish you had it.
You're going to wish you had it.
Yeah.
You probably know at least 3 or 4 moms that are selling it,
Yep.
and they need the support right now.
Yeah.
So you're helping out your fellow men,
So many people.
and you might save yourself from the coronavirus. Eat your avocados. Make sure you get those healthy fats, your vitamins, your essential oils.
Such a long sign off, by the way.
I'm giving the people what they need to hear.
Okay, this is PSA.
Vitamins, healthy fats,
Yeah.
essential oils. Because the coronavirus is here. And we got this.
We do.
Because life's a mission.
Well done. Bye.